From the vast plains of Africa, where lions roam freely and command respect, to the depths of the Amazon rainforest, teeming with hidden dangers and vibrant life, the natural world presents a stunning tapestry of life, filled with creatures both majestic and deadly. Throughout history, humans have sought to harness these abilities for their own ends, particularly in warfare, using nature's power to gain an edge in battle. Here are some of the most notable examples of how deadly creatures have been used in combat, from the colossal strength of elephants which could trample enemies and break through defenses, to the venomous bite of snakes used to poison and incapacitate foes, and the disease-carrying capacity of insects which could spread illness and weaken armies. Across ancient India, Persia, and Carthage, a formidable force emerged, the war elephant. These massive creatures were not just animals, they were symbols of power and dominance on the battlefield. These creatures, draped in armor and adorned with tusked swords, became living battering rams, breaking enemy lines with a single charge. Their presence alone could shift the tide of battle, making them invaluable assets to ancient armies. Their immense size and thundering footsteps struck terror into the hearts of soldiers. The ground would shake as they advanced, creating an overwhelming sense of dread among the enemy ranks. The psychological impact of these majestic creatures was often enough to break the enemy's resolve. Many battles were won not just by their physical might, but by the sheer fear they instilled in opposing forces. In the age of galleys and triremes, a terrifying tactic emerged: fire ships laden with bees and wasps. These vessels were deliberately set ablaze and sent towards enemy fleets, carrying their stinging cargo. As the fire took hold, the insects would erupt in a furious swarm, transforming enemy ships into scenes of chaos. The combination of fire and stinging insects created an unbearable situation for the sailors. Sailors, driven to madness by the stings, would leap into the sea to escape the agonizing onslaught. The water offered little solace, as many couldn't swim, leading to further panic and despair. The ancient world was rife with brutal methods of warfare. Among the most unsettling was the use of scorpions, employed in the form of scorpion bombs. Clay pots filled with scorpions would be hurled into enemy camps, spreading terror and chaos. The sudden appearance of these deadly creatures would disrupt formations and undermine morale. Hannibal Barca, the brilliant Carthaginian general, employed venomous snakes against Roman warships. Picture Roman galleys, their decks crowded with legionaries, suddenly besieged by a torrent of venomous snakes. Panic gripped the Roman sailors, as the serpents slithered across the decks. The once disciplined ranks of the Roman fleet descended into chaos. The Black Death cast a long shadow over medieval battlefields. Catapults hurled plague-infected corpses over the walls of besieged cities to spread pestilence. As the plague took hold, it weakened the enemy's resolve, transforming strongholds into breeding grounds for disease. Few tactics were as peculiar as the use of war pigs to counter war elephants. Romans discovered elephants' aversion to high-pitched sounds. Squealing pigs would cause elephants to panic, often turning and fleeing in terror. World War II saw the United States Project X-ray aiming to weaponize bats as aerial incendiary bombers. The plan was to release bats with incendiary devices over Japanese cities. Though never deployed, it stands as a testament to the lengths nations would go for victory. The Eastern Front of World War II saw the deployment of K-9 anti-tank units by the Soviet Union. Dogs, trained to carry explosives to enemy tanks, became four-legged suicide bombers. These loyal creatures would dive beneath tanks, triggering devastating explosions. The Vietnam War saw the deployment of poisonous snakes by the Viet Cong. Highly venomous snakes were placed in concealed traps along jungle trails. The jungle transformed into a deadly trap, with soldiers' fates hanging on the potency of the venom. World War II's horrors extended into biological warfare with Japan's Unit 731. Experiments included breeding fleas infected with the bubonic plague. These plague-carrying fleas were intended to spread disease silently and efficiently. From war elephants to weaponized insects, animals have played a significant role in human conflict. These examples highlight the brutal and creative methods of weaponizing creatures. As we strive for a more humane world, we must remember these historical lessons.